Hello, dear viewers, and a warm welcome back to our channel, where we delve deep into the heart of the British royal family, bringing you the latest insights and updates from the palace walls and beyond. Today, we find ourselves exploring a fascinating and potentially delicate situation that sources suggest is unfolding at the very pinnacle of the monarchy, involving His Majesty King Charles III and his heirs, the Prince and Princess of Wales, William and Catherine. Before we embark on this journey into the intricate dynamics reportedly at play, please take a moment to show your support by hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel if you haven't already. Your engagement helps us continue to bring you these detailed explorations of royal affairs. For some time now, royal observers and insiders have noted a perceived shift in how the Prince and Princess of Wales are preparing for their future roles. Reports have often highlighted that King Charles, despite being the reigning monarch, appears to be navigating a complex landscape, one that involves balancing his own vision for the monarchy with the evolving approach of his eldest son and daughter-in-law. It has been widely reported that the king is, in principle, supportive of what has been described as the quiet training or preparation that Prince William and Princess Catherine are undertaking as they steadily assume more senior responsibilities, readying themselves for the day they will eventually ascend to the throne. This notion of a gradual, perhaps less public apprenticeship certainly aligns with a modernizing monarchy, allowing the future king and queen consort to develop their roles and initiatives organically. However, whispers from within certain circles suggest that this period of transition might not be entirely without its points of friction. There are indications that Prince William's purportedly bold plans for the future of the monarchy, coupled with Princess Catherine's distinct and perhaps unconventional approach to her duties and public appearances, are beginning to sow seeds of doubt or perhaps even cause some concern regarding the overall trajectory and style of King Charles's ongoing reign. What these bold plans or different approach specifically entail remains a subject of much speculation, but the very suggestion points towards a potential divergence in perspective between the current monarch and his immediate successors. This underlying dynamic, according to recent reports, was perhaps inadvertently highlighted by a rather unexpected occurrence surrounding one of the most anticipated events in the royal calendar, Royal Ascot. This prestigious 5-day horse racing festival is not merely a sporting event. It is a cornerstone of the British social season, a parade of high fashion and a deeply cherished tradition long patronized by the royal family, particularly loved by the late Queen Elizabeth II and, as reports confirm, His Majesty King Charles III. The royal family traditionally gathers in force for Royal Ascot, with members often participating in the carriage procession and spending time in the royal enclosure. It is an event that symbolizes continuity, tradition, and the monarchy's connection to national life and its various pastimes. This year was no different, with the family expected to attend various days of the event, culminating in the final day on Saturday. However, it was during the second day of this illustrious 5-day meeting that an unexpected development reportedly sent a ripple of unease through the palace. Princess Catherine, whose presence is always eagerly anticipated, particularly at such high-profile events, made a last-minute cancellation of her planned appearance. This 11th-hour withdrawal, according to sources, reportedly threw the palace into a fresh wave of panic, suggesting that her absence was not anticipated and caused considerable logistical or perhaps even public relations challenges. Now, it is crucial to consider the context surrounding Princess Catherine's health. As has been widely reported and met with immense public sympathy, Her Royal Highness battled cancer for 9 months last year, a challenging period that necessitated a significant step back from public duties while she underwent preventative chemotherapy. Given this very serious health journey, it is entirely understandable that her choices regarding prioritizing her health and recovery would be paramount. King Charles himself, as we know, is also currently undergoing weekly cancer treatments, a shared experience that one would expect would foster a deep sense of empathy and understanding between father and daughter-in-law. Indeed, reports suggest that the king is profoundly empathetic towards Princess Catherine's decisions regarding her well-being, especially in light of his own ongoing health challenges. From this perspective, her absence from Ascot could be viewed purely through the lens of health and the necessity of managing her recovery and energy levels carefully. However, another perspective, reportedly offered by sources speaking to the Daily Beast, presents a different, more controversial interpretation of Princess Catherine's absence. According to these insiders, the reason for her withdrawal was far simpler and to some potentially more provocative: a lack of interest in the sport of horse racing itself. These sources suggested that because neither Kate nor William have a particular passion for racing, she simply chose to pull out due to disinterest. This interpretation frames her absence not as a health necessity, but as a personal choice stemming from a lack of enthusiasm for the event. Crucially, this perspective goes further, suggesting that such a withdrawal, if motivated by disinterest, could be perceived as a snub to the monarch, King Charles, who, as mentioned, holds a genuine affection for attending Royal Ascot. The implication here is that attending events cherished by the head of the family, particularly one as significant and traditional as Ascot, is seen by some as a duty, regardless of personal preference. An insider reportedly elaborated on this point, telling the outlet, "There is a perception in some quarters that Kate just doesn't like racing, and so didn't make the effort." This insider acknowledged that this perception is probably not fair, recognizing the potential health reasons, but immediately followed with a telling comparison. "But you have to wonder if she would have missed Wimbledon, which she adores." This comparison is particularly striking. Princess Catherine is the patron of the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club and is a well-known and enthusiastic tennis fan, rarely missing the Wimbledon championships. The insider's comment, therefore, subtly suggests that while health is a valid reason, the swiftness of her return to an event she truly loves, might differ from her attendance at events she is less passionate about, thereby fueling the disinterest narrative among some observers. The source further noted that while Princess Catherine must have been genuinely unable to come for a valid reason, the last-minute nature of the way it was announced makes the king look disrespected. This is a key point of contention highlighted in the reports. The timing of the announcement, coming so close to the event, allegedly created an impression of disorganization, or worse, a lack of consideration for the implications on the king and the event itself. Adding historical context, the insider starkly pointed out that a decision of this nature, particularly a last-minute withdrawal from a major event like Ascot, would simply not have been possible during the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. This comparison underscores a perceived difference in the approach to royal duties and protocol between the current generation and the late Queen, who was renowned for her unwavering commitment to duty and rarely canceled engagements unless absolutely necessary due to ill health. This contrast, according to the source, highlights a potential shift in the operational style of the future monarchy. Summing up the situation from this critical viewpoint, the source stated, "Clearly, Kate wasn't feeling up to it, but there is no denying that the whole affair was badly handled." This assessment suggests that regardless of the underlying reason for her absence, the communication and management of the situation were poor, contributing to the perception of disrespect or chaos within the palace machinery. The insider offered a potential explanation for this perceived poor handling, pointing towards the autonomy reportedly exercised by the Prince and Princess of Wales. They claimed, "You can't blame their office as they are the last to know. William and Kate make their own decisions on their own time," which is another source of frustration to everyone else trying to steer the tanker. This paints a picture of Kensington Palace operating with a significant degree of independence, with the Prince and Princess making decisions directly, sometimes without extensive consultation or advance notice to their own staff, let alone other parts of the royal household. This independent decision-making style, while perhaps reflecting a desire for control and a modern approach, is reportedly a source of frustration for those tasked with managing the complex logistics and public appearances of the royal family, likening the effort to steer the tanker, a massive, unwieldy operation requiring careful, forward planning. The source concluded this point by reiterating the abruptness of the decision. They pulled the plug at the last minute. However, it is important to consider a counter-perspective, one that offers a more harmonious view of the relationship between King Charles and the Prince and Princess of Wales. According to reports, a friend of King Charles offered a different take on the situation and the broader dynamic at play. This friend maintained that the king is very thoughtful and considerate, implying that his actions and reactions are guided by understanding and empathy rather than frustration or a sense of being disrespected. Furthermore, this friend reportedly asserted that the king has granted Kate and William the privilege to tackle their public duties differently from past generations or even from his own style. This perspective suggests that any perceived differences in approach are not a source of tension, but rather a deliberate allowance made by the monarch. The friend stated that King Charles clearly supports their decisions, including their choices regarding their public roles and potentially even their attendance at events. This view portrays the king as a supportive figure who recognizes that the monarchy must evolve and is actively enabling his heirs to shape their roles in a way that is authentic to them and relevant to contemporary society. The use of the word privilege is interesting, suggesting that this different approach isn't a right they are demanding, but a flexibility granted by the king himself. So, what are we to make of these seemingly conflicting narratives? On one hand, we have reports suggesting underlying tensions, last-minute decisions causing frustration, and a perceived departure from traditional protocol that some view critically. On the other hand, we hear that the king is understanding, supportive, and has actively empowered his son and daughter-in-law to forge their own path. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between, or perhaps both perspectives contain elements of reality. It is entirely possible that King Charles is broadly supportive of William and Kate's modernizing approach and understands the need for flexibility, especially concerning health. Yet, the practicalities of running a vast institution like the monarchy, with its packed calendar and global scrutiny, mean that last-minute changes, for whatever reason, can inevitably cause logistical headaches and fuel unhelpful speculation. The frustration reported by some insiders might stem more from the operational challenges created by independent, swift decision-making than from any fundamental disagreement on vision. The comparison to Queen Elizabeth's reign is insightful, highlighting the undeniable shift in how royal life is conducted. The late Queen embodied an era where duty was paramount, and personal preferences were rarely, if ever, allowed to visibly impact public engagements. The current generation, however, operates in a different world, one where authenticity, work-life balance, and mental and physical well-being are more openly discussed and prioritized. Prince William and Princess Catherine have consistently sought to carve out a more normal family life for their children and manage their demanding roles in a way that is sustainable for them. This might inherently involve making decisions that occasionally deviate from past practices, potentially causing consternation among those accustomed to the old ways. Princess Catherine's health journey, in particular, adds a layer of complexity and sensitivity. While her recovery is undoubtedly the top priority, and any decision she makes regarding her public appearances must be respected through that lens, the optics surrounding her absence from a major event like Ascot, especially when contrasted with her known passion for other events like Wimbledon, inevitably become fodder for discussion and differing interpretations. Ultimately, these reports paint a picture of a monarchy in transition, navigating the delicate balance between cherished tradition and the demands of the modern world. King Charles appears to be attempting a gradual handover of responsibilities, allowing his heirs space to grow into their roles. However, the process is not without its challenges, whether they stem from differing operational styles, external perceptions, or the simple realities of managing busy lives under intense public scrutiny, compounded by significant health challenges within the family. The episode surrounding Princess Catherine's absence from Royal Ascot, as reported, serves as a micro-example of these larger dynamics reportedly at play. It highlights the scrutiny faced by the core members of the royal family and how their decisions, even seemingly small ones, can be interpreted in various ways, fueling narratives about the state of the monarchy and the relationships within it. This situation certainly gives us much to reflect upon regarding the pressures faced by the royal family today and the ongoing evolution of the institution itself. What are your thoughts on these reported dynamics between King Charles, Prince William, and Princess Catherine? Do you think the differing approaches are a sign of healthy adaptation or a potential source of future challenges? Share your opinions in the comments section below. We always appreciate hearing from you. Don't forget to like this video if you found this exploration informative, subscribe to our channel for more in-depth royal analysis, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next update. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.